So today's practice is just a 20-minute movement through the hips and the hammies and through the heart, just finding a nice, beautiful amount of openness and softness. So really good morning, evening, just when you're feeling a little bit tight, tense, just need a breather. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into downward dog. So, lift your tailbone nice and high, spread your fingers, and then just walk your hips from side to side, bend one knee, bend the other knee. So it's really important we start off any practice with connecting with our breath. So just close your eyes. And as you just move freely from side to side here, think about pressing forward through the heel of your hands, lifting your tailbone high. Bend the knees, straighten them a couple of times, just spreading on out. So if you do have a block, grab your block to have with you in this practice. If you don't have a block, a book, something the same sort of size as a block, just something you can use a little bit of leverage for a few poses where it might help you. So take a few breaths there, really lift up through your tailbone, lengthen out through your body, trying to find a beautiful peak. Your tailbone is nice and high. So take 5 breaths there. Ujjayi breath starts now. Mouth closed, breath is through your nose. We're going to take an inhale, lift the right leg up to 3-legged dog. Inhale. Just lift it up, stretch it up. Try to keep even weight in both your hands. Control your ribs. And then exhale, put it down. Second leg, left leg lifts up. Inhale. So stretching out through the back of that right leg, up through the top leg. Ribs are in, control through the arms. Soft breaths. And pop it down. Come all the way into child's pose, knees down. Just lengthen yourself back. Just reach forward through your hands. And just move your hips gently from side to side. Good. And then unfold all the way back to your downward dog. Tailbone up nice and high. Stretching up. Starting to feel a bit more familiar and comfortable with this place as you lengthen through your body. Okay, take your left leg this time first. Left leg, inhale, lift it up. And then open your hips. Drop your heel to your bottom. Look up underneath your left arm as you can and just stretch out through the side. Keep control through your ribs. Keep your shoulders plugging up towards your hips. Breathe. 2. And 1. Square it back on. Come forward, knee to nose. Squeeze it in. Good, then place the foot between the hands gently. And come up into your first high lunge. Inhale. So keep steady in the legs. Let's just come up. Just generate a little bit of warmth before we go nice and deep. So find stability here. Left hip back, right hip forward. Really make sure you're sucking in through Mula Bandha and lifting up. Breathe. 2. And 1. Pop your hands down on the earth and then try to straighten the front leg just as much as you can. So if it's not very straight, it doesn't matter. Just fold it on back so you feel the stretch in the back of this left leg here. Good. And then you come forward, bend your neck, drop your hips down, look up. Exhale, fold it back, moving with your breath. Inhale, come forward. So try to open through your heart there. Exhale, fold back. And come forward into your low lunge. Put your right hand, let's keep the back knee up to start with. Right hand down directly underneath the right shoulder. Inhale the left arm up. So coming for a twist. So reach straight up towards the sky. Then I want you to start to pull your chest back and open your body. Try to open your body away from your left knee, but keep firm in your left foot. Just let your neck be completely free. Push back hard through your right leg. Breathe into the front of your chest. Try to find that openness. Breathe. 2. And 1. Exhale, both hands down. Lower the back knee down all the way now so you're in a low lunge. Let's just heel toe the left foot out towards the side of the mat. So keep your heel slightly in, toes slightly turned out. Bring both your hands on the inside. Realign the right shoulder so it's right above the right hand. Let's bend the back heel in towards your bottom. Good. So if your knee hurts here as you bend it, the more flexible you get, so the more forward you come, the less your knee will hurt. But you can always put a cushion underneath your back knee. So maybe for some people that's it. If you can grab hold of your foot with your left hand, do so now. I'm going to start by pulling the heel towards the bottom. Try to sink into the right shoulder. Keep pulling your body up and away. You've got to roll your shoulders back and open your chest. Keep your left foot flat on the floor to start with. But do try to look over your left shoulder. Pull your heel in so you feel a beautiful stretch in the front of your right hip flexor. Yes, it's beautiful. Breathe. 2. And 1. Now flex your back foot and try to push the foot back into the hand to create a bit of tension there. Now try to think about your left knee dropping down as your sole of your left foot tries to turn towards the sky. Now push back through your back leg and open through your chest. Just a little bit different here. Breathe, doesn't matter what it looks like. Breathe. 2, just find space. Lift away from the earth. And 1. Exhale, release. Good. Let the back leg go down. Walk the back left foot back to the center. Ground both hands. Lift the back knee up. Strong. Let's find our first high plank. So we're not doing much vinyasa here, but just try to find a little bit of stability. Press back through the heels. Open the collarbones. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Back to your friend, downward dog. Look back towards your feet. Try to lift your toes, lengthen your spine. Ribs stay in control through the arms. Let's go for the second side. Right leg lifts up. Inhale. Open the hips into your open hip three-legged dog. Look up underneath your right arm. Keep strong in your arms. 2. And 1. Square it back off. Bring your knee to your nose. Round your spine. Transfer the shoulders above the wrist. Pop the foot between the hands. Shuffle it forward if you need to. Get steady in the legs before you stand up. Then turn on through your center and inhale. 1 smooth movement all the way up. So like you're reaching up, but pull your shoulders down. Make sure you take control through your center. So your bum's not booting out behind you. Try to keep all the control so your spine stays long. Grounding through your front foot really firmly. Just gaze drishti out in front of you. Long in your body. Breathe. 2. And 1. Place the hands down. Straighten the front leg as much as you can. So it doesn't matter how straight it is. Just so you feel the stretch. Make sure you don't lock the right leg if you are really mobile. Good. Then bend the front knee. Drop the hips down. Try to look up a little bit. And exhale. Moving with that breath. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, go back. Last time, inhale, come forward. Setting up for the twist now. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Right arm extends to the sky. So stay really steady in that back leg. It's really firing back. Extend the right arm. Now try to think about the right shoulder opening, not just the hand. And pull your body away from your front leg. Breathe, relax through the neck. 2. Find that freedom of letting go. And 1. Exhale, both hands down. Put the back knee down, so you're in low lunge. Then walk your right foot out towards the side. Heel slightly in, toes slightly out. Good. Bring the left hand so it's right underneath the left shoulder. Bend the back heel in. Once again, put your cushion underneath the left heel if you need, left knee, sorry, if you need to. Maybe that's it. Maybe the right hand comes around. Once again, don't sink into the left shoulder. Push up and away from it. Draw the heel to the bottom. Good. Breathe. Just take yourself to the edge. When you're finding this openness, is a place of finding where you're not finding pain, but you're finding, let's say, juiciness. You're finding openness. You're working with it. Every exhale, see if you can drop down a little bit more. Keeping that openness to the chest, but drawing the heel in. Breathing. Good. Now flex the left foot. Now think about pressing that leg back so you create tension. Then opening the right knee out as the sole of the right foot lifts off the floor if possible. And then try to create a bit of a back bend. So you're stretching through your whole body. Keep pressing your left leg back so you feel openness through your chest. Breathe. 2. And 1. Come on back. Ground your hands either side of your front foot. Fire up the back leg. Step back. High plank. This beautiful openness and length through your hips allows you to be steady. Mula Bandha, Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, take it back, downward dog. 5 breaths again. Now I want you really to move your hips from side to side. Just bend one knee, bend the other knee, and just see how much more openness you already have. Spread your fingers. Remembering if this is a morning practice for you, be really mindful, moving slowly and just aware of how it is that you feel. And so that awareness, it creates yoga. It allows us to be more than just the physical. Get your mind set into this place of just being present. Okay, next little flow. Let's start with the right leg this time. So right leg, inhale, lift it up all the way. Push into your hands. So open your hips again. So just stay here for a few moments if you wish. If you already feel nice and warm, maybe drop all the way into a wild thing. Stay on the toes of the right foot. Then lift the hips up as high as you can. Reach your arm. Relax your head completely. Open and close your mouth a few times. Shake your head. Soften through your upper body. Push up high through your feet. 2. one. Gently come all the way back. Take that right leg, step it between your hands into your pigeon pose. Everyone loves a good pigeon. So make sure your right knee is outside your right hip. So you don't want to come across your body. You want to make sure it's nice and open. Get your hips nice and square. So if you're more open, the leg will be out more like a right angle. If you're not as open, bring the heel into the groin. Just really make sure your hips are nice and equal here. So for me, I come nice and forward. But I don't fall over to the side. I make sure I'm nice and square here. So just find your spot, check back that your toes are in line with your ankle. And then when you feel ready, you slowly come down. So I want you to, because we're working on its openness here today, I want you to move from side to side a little bit. So you're taking yourself into your edge. So if this is really not a good pose for you, if it's feeling uncomfortable, exceptionally tight through the hips, you can pop something else underneath your right bum. So you can take your block and pop it underneath there to give you a little bit of extra support. You can put something underneath your forearms. Put your head on the block, cushion. Make it something that works for you. If you can flex this front foot, do so. It will help protect your right knee. If it is all too much, so just stay and breathe there. If it's all too much and it's uncomfortable for your knees, this pose should be uncomfortable for your knee, just come down onto your back here. Cross your leg across into number 4 and pull it in. Similar type of stretch in that outside right thumb. But if you can, stay in this one here because the gravity of the pressure of your body coming down can help you release a little bit more. So we're going to stay for a few breaths here. So be in whichever modification is working for you at this point. Try to let yourself sink. Just soften. You can continue to move from side to side a little bit if that allows you to go in a little bit deeper. Become that observer of the breath. You can take 5 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale evenly. 2 more. So last breath, you're going to slowly walk your hands back up. If you are laying on your back in your number 4 or thread the needle, come all the way back up here and you're going to come back to 3-legged dog. So spread your fingers, push into your hands, turn on through your center, tuck your back toes. And just float that right leg back up to the sky. Just shake it on out, do whatever you need to do. And step it straight back between your hands. Coming just for a warrior 1, back foot 45. Inhale, lift up. Just take your time to find the spot. Right hip back, left hip forward, shoulders down. Good, breathe 2. And 1. So straighten both your legs. You're going to turn your left toes out. Now you're going to bend your left knee. Bring your hands down to the earth. Your right toes come towards the sky. For some of you, maybe your left heel might be off the floor and you're just staying like this, getting into the hips. If possible though, you want to put your left heel down. Just see what it feels like. Yeah. So same again, this is a pose where you need to wiggle in, get in as nice, as deep as you can. Try to think about pressing your left knee back, drawing your inner thighs forward. So it's an open hip pose, like warrior 2. The tailbone draws slightly down, the inner thighs wrap forward. Yeah. Right toes up towards the sky. So keep your hands on the earth if that feels good for you. Maybe the forearms come down and you can try not to let that happen with the head down. Try to think about that halfway lift type movement, lengthening out so you get deeper in. So you need to take your modification so you feel it the most for you. For me, this is a good place, yeah, to feel nice and free. So once again, just close your eyes and just breathe. If you're up on the toes, keep your hands down to be stable. For those who are a little bit more open and you're here, perhaps you feel like reaching your arms forward, so you have to engage the muscles a little bit to keep you there. Breathe. 2. And 1. So you're going to walk your hands around your right foot, so back where you came from. Swivel the back heel off the floor and lower the back knee down so you're in a low lunge. Good. Okay. So keep the fingers down, Ardha Hanumanasana, straighten the front leg. Come on back. But I want you to put your bum down. Keep your bum in line with your knee. pull your toes back toward you. For some people, the foot down is going to be a little bit easier if you really tighten the honeys. Once again, take your block or a cushion or whatever you want, something so you can put your hands down. And you want to lengthen once again, a rounding, try to pull out away from your towel and then fold your body down. Just breathe. So you're just finding that place where you can feel space. So right hip back, left hip forward, closed hip position. Breathe. You're letting go. So whether it's the end of your day or the beginning of your day, you're finding a place of space. Physical space then generates this beautiful openness in the heart, which allows us to find stillness in our mind. Bend the front knee, come back to your low lunge, Anjanasana. Now take your block and put it down halfway on the outside of your foot, about halfway. Yeah? Put your fingertips on it. Extend your left arm up. You're just going to start to lean. So lean towards the block, so diagonally towards the block. And keep sinking your left hip down so you feel a bit of space. Now, but I want you to reach out. So put the block far enough away that your fingertips are just resting. You're stretching through both your hands. And breathe. Most of these poses don't really do much unless you think about elongation and space away from the midline. 2. And 1. Take your block now a little bit further around. So it's almost in line, just back past your knee. So reach your fingers out again. So have it far enough away that you're on fingertips. And then lean towards the block. So you're basically leaning over to the side now. Make sure that left shoulder keeps drawing down. Ribs stay in. If you keep your ribs in and you don't let it all flare and open out, you feel more control through the stretch. 2. Keep feeling that left hip drop down. And 1. Take the block back a little bit further so now it's in line with your bum almost. Reach through your fingers. And reach back and open a little bit. So out to the side and open. Keep dropping down through your left hip. Breathe. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Come all the way down. Put both hands down. Let's just step back, downward dog. Wow, feels good, yeah. Move your hips from side to side. It's so nice to find that openness. Sometimes just going through a little bit deeper gives you this beautiful joy when you get back to this pose of your downward dog, a familiar place. So we're going to do our pigeon pose second side. So left leg, take it up first. Inhale. So once again, we're coming all the way over to open the hips. So thinking about inner thighs wrapping forward, drop the heel to the bottom. Look underneath the left arm. Stay 1 is option. Otherwise, put the left toes down on the earth. Then lift the hips up as much as you can. And drop it on back. So creating space in your body. Let the left hand hang, the mouth open and close. The head be free, roll your shoulders, lift your hips. Breathe. 2. And 1. Come all the way back, stepping the left leg all the way forward into your pigeon pose. So set up again. So once again, if the left knee is bad, it doesn't feel good, on your back, hook the left leg into a number 4. Otherwise, find your place. So if you're falling over to the side, pull your left heel into your groin more, come into the center. If you feel nothing, bring the leg further out. Take yourself to your edge. So take your time, move yourself from side to side. Be mindful, this side could be different. Everyone's a little bit unbalanced. Eventually we find that evenness. Check the back ankle is in line. Once again, use your block if you wish. Forearms on the block. Don't you come down. If this feels better for you today, stay here. So yoga is about finding your own practice, of finding the place, finding the space that you can create in your body. So this practice particularly is about finding softness. It's about finding release in places that most of us hold tension or hold tightness. So to do that, obviously, we need to find our own place. The external of the pose becomes completely irrelevant. And it's about what's happening with your breath, what's happening in your mind when you're in the pose. So where you are is perfectly fine. Continue to move from side to side if that allows you to go in nice and deep, a little bit more. And just soften. Allow yourself to feel supported by the block, by the mat, by whatever you've got. Remembering you can have something underneath your left hip here if you feel it's a little bit too intense for you. But try to find that place where it's a beautiful stretch. It's not too much, it's not too little. It's that place of balance. And with every breath, see if you can soften a little bit more. It's the poses that we avoid, like a lot of things in life, that we need the most. For some of us that are perhaps quite open, maybe these poses, we sort of become a little bit complacent. We kind of just come into them and don't think. There's always somewhere further we can go to find that beautiful edge, that moment of bliss. Take 2 more breaths. And come all the way up onto your hands. Spread your fingers, push your hands firm, tuck your back toes. Left leg pops back up, 3-legged dog. Shake it on out. And then step it back through between your hands. Warrior 1, back foot 45. Inhale, lift up. Nice and steady in the legs. Left hip back, right hip forward. Just stay for a moment. Bend to the front knee. Lifting up through the center, shoulders sliding down. Energy reaching all the way through your limbs. Good, then straighten your legs. Turn your right toes towards the back of your mat. Then you're going to bend that right knee. You're taking your weight now into your nice, long, let's say a little Spider-Man lunge. So once again, if the right heel comes up, that's fine. Press the heel down if you can. Sink on it. So same again, remembering you can be in this pose and you can put your forearms down. You can reach your arms forward. You can keep open your hands. Just find a place where you feel good, where you feel like you can get in deep into that place that maybe needs it a lot. So just stay and breathe wherever you are. Once again, you've got a block there. So if you want to put your heel on the block, move the block in front of you. Be a little bit creative and feel out what happens with your body when you change it up a little bit. Just breathing there. All the while, finding a little bit more softness. Two more breaths. Good. Come on up. Walk the hands around the left leg as you bend your left knee. You're in Anjanasana, your low lunge. Good. Just keep under your fingertips. We'll take it back to Ardha Hanumanasana. So keep that right hip above the knee. Don't drop back too far. Maybe lift the toes up if that feels okay. If that's way too neural intense, just relax the foot. Once again, use your block, use a cushion, something else if you can't reach your hands to the earth. And try not to let the body round. The head's not going down. I want you to think about your body folding down. So lengthen out and then exhale, fold down. Breathe. Just take yourself where you feel the space start to arrive. Last breath. And then come back up, bend the front knee. Take your block. So once again, bring it out first, about halfway down the side of your foot. Come onto your fingertips. So depending on the length of your arm to how far away you want it, but you want to be on your fingertips, so you don't want to be sinking onto the block. You want to be lifting away from the block. Sink down through the right hip. Lift the right arm up, and you're going towards the block. So you're diagonally going towards the block, but you're pulling away from it with your left hand. So your whole body is lifting up and away. Wrap your left shoulder out and breathe. Try to keep control. So you're sinking in, but you want to still mula bandha. Just so you feel more space, but with control. So take the block around. So it's about in line with, not quite your bum, onto your fingertips and reach over that way. So maybe you can look underneath your right arm if you wish. Keep reaching away from your hands. Try to sink onto the left hand, so you have to lift up a little bit at the same time. 2 and 1. Take your block backwards a little bit. And again, open your chest. Ribs stay in for the back bend or open your heart. 2 and 1. Beautiful. Exhale down. Put the block away. Let's just step it on back. Downward dog. Once again, move the hips from side to side. Spread the fingers. We're going to raise up high onto our tippy toes. Turn the heels to the right. Press the heels down. Just stretch out through the side of your body. Good. Lift up onto your tippy toes. Heels to the left. Press the heels down, stretch out, breathe. 2. And 1, beautiful. Come down onto your knees. Bring your knees together. Pop your block between your feet and sit on your bum. So knees stay together, feet stay back. If this is not good, you need a bit more height, do so. Otherwise, just come straight to your bottom and just chill out there for a second. So just going to sit here for a sec, pop your hands on your legs. Close your eyes. Just take a few breaths. So we're just going to do one final little pose to stretch out through the front of our hips and work into our back a little bit. And we'll take a nice little Shavasana. So let yourself just settle. Appreciate the moment, the softness, the awareness. Just when you feel ready, and slowly come down onto your back. Keep your block near you because you're going to need it in a second. And lay down slowly. So take a little moment there, feel the mat beneath you. Okay, so have your knees facing towards the sky, feet hip width apart, as if you were going to do your normal bridge. Push into your palms, palms face down, and just lift your hips a little bit. I'm going to take your block, I want you to put it long ways. And rest it. So you don't want it on your bum, you don't want it in your lower back, it's on your sacrum. So you should be able to feel like your bone, the hard part, to sit straight onto the block. So find that place there. Let yourself sink down into that place. So everyone's on this low position. If that still feels a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can flatten it so the block's even smaller. Okay. So for everyone, this is going to be really different. It's going to depend on the flexibility in your spine as well as the front of your hip flexors. So we're going to take the left leg first. You're going to grab hold of your foot and just put your toes on the earth so your heel face is up, so you can push onto the back of your heel. And just stay there. If you already feel a stretch in the front of your left hip flexor, that's where you're going to stay. You're just going to breathe. If you're a rib flarer, I don't want you to start arching up through here. I want you to keep your ribs in because then you keep control and you feel more stretch. If you're still not feeling very much, tuck your toes under and lower your whole leg down onto the earth so you feel more space happening here. Automatically, see when that happens, my ribs start to come out, so you want to try to keep the ribs contained. The more I pull in through Mula Bandha and my center, the more I use the serratus anterior to suck it back in, the more space I find in front of my left hip. So you need to work to find this position for yourself because everyone will be completely different. If you're not feeling much, you can try coming back out of it, taking your block and lifting your block up a little bit higher, finding that same place where you're settled, then maybe taking your leg down from there again. So for me, I feel about the same sort of stretch in my leg. I start to get more of the back bend, so it supports me a little bit more in my back bend. It's getting me ready for a few of the more advanced drop backs in my back bending. But to actually stretch the front of my left hip flexor, I actually like it a little bit lower. So just stay in that place where you found for you. So some people find this gets stuck and it's not really good for their foot. You can put something underneath your foot or just stay in the first variation. Some of us don't have as much mobility in the ankle, so just stay there. So you can have your hands either resting on your tummy, on your hips, down the side. Breathe. So soften your body into the block and then the mat between your shoulder blades. And start to watch the breath. Just take 2 more breaths because you've been there for a little bit while I was yabbering on. And then you're going to slowly come out and we're going to go on to the other side. So to come out, just lift it up again. Shake it out, do whatever you need to do with that one, and then do the same thing on the other leg. So change your block if you need to, just try and make it even, but just be mindful this side might feel a little bit different. So onto the tops of the toes if you can, otherwise stay on the toes just find that place. So make sure it doesn't come into your lower back at any point. It should not be in your lower back. Move the block around if you happen to feel that. Press down, so trying to find space in the front of the right leg. Ribs stay in. And then automatically you feel a little bit more with that control. Breathing. This practice can be used as a little preparation even for your vinyasa practice. Give you some more openness going into it. You never know what you might be able to find, what poses you might be able to come into, or how deep you might find yourself in your practice. Maybe it's a beautiful restorative type practice towards the end of your day before you rest. The most important thing is in poses like this, you have to stay. You have to breathe. 5 breaths change is not going to work in a pose like this. You want to get in, you want to breathe, you want to be steady. You want to go through that place where it's not quite comfortable to a place where you feel even little tiny millimeters of space. Or even smaller than that. Take 2 more breaths. Take that leg out, pop your bottom up, take your block out. Lower your back down. Just bring your knees to your chest and gently rock from side to side. Just finish off with a nice little twist here. So just take your right knee over your left knee so there's no gap between your knees. And then hug your knees into your chest. Relax your shoulders down. Make sure your neck is nice and free. If you don't feel much in your hips here, you can grab hold of the tops of your feet. Bring them out to the side at little right angles if possible and squeeze the knees on top of each other towards your chest. But keep relaxed through the shoulders. Good. Relax on down and take your knees over to the right. Keep the hook as it is. So you come all the way over. You use your right ankle to pull down your left knee. And then you extend back. Arms out to the side, dropping down through your left shoulder, reaching out over. Soften down through your center. And breathe. Twisting helps just to move all that stuff that gets stuck in us. Emotional, physical. Helps to take any tension out of your lower back. Anywhere in your spine, your neck. Good, so unhook your knees and bring them back to center. Swapping sides, left over right. Hug it on in. Squeeze it in. So same again, you can just stay as is, or you can grab hold of the tops of your feet. Take it on out so the knees stack, draw it down towards you so you feel a bit more. So you want to feel it in the outside of your hip there. 2. And 1. Knees over to the left. Take the knees all the way down to the earth if you can. Use the left ankle to pull down the right knee. Then extend back over through the right arm. Look over the right shoulder if it feels okay. And just breathe. Good. Unhook the knees, come back to center. Draw the knees into the chest, tuck the forehead in, squeeze, and then let it go. So making your way now into Shavasana. So I've all been waiting for. So straighten your legs out. If it's uncomfortable on your back, you can always bend your knees up and keep your knees bent, it's fine. If feet come out, they're not touching each other, maybe as wide as your mat. Take your arms out, away from your body, palms facing up. Just make any adjustments you need, make sure your neck and everything feels free. Just going to take one nice deep breath here. So just exhale all the air. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath in there. Engage Mula Bandha for that, lifting it all up, locking it all in. And then offer it out through the mouth on your exhale. Soften. The mat catch you. Just find your breath. Notice how it floats through your body. Inhale and you exhale. It's even. There's the softness of your fingers and your toes and your face. Just give yourself this moment to be. Notice how liberating spaciousness. Just draw your hands together and your palms together. Just rub your palms together to find some warmth in between your hands. And just place the heel of the hands over your eyes. And see the darkness. There's a huge amount of space. Release your hands and slowly make your way to seated when you're ready. Try to keep your eyes closed. Just move slowly. Just come to a seated place. Do whatever you want to do with your legs, on your knees, cross your legs, your choice. Once your hands come together in Anjali Mudra, your heart by your forehead slightly. Your thumbs to your forehead. May the light from your practice follow you throughout your journey. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.